Alright guys, so let's address the elephant in the room right now in this video about Shopify dropshipping and where it's going. Let's go. Hi guys, hope you're all doing well. My name is Jeffrey and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, hello and welcome. I do dropshipping videos, e-commerce, entrepreneurship, everything else in between. So if you like what you see, be sure to subscribe down below, like the video, and comment down below BRANDFAM because I will be giving away one free call for 30 minutes or reviewing your store once we reach about 10 or so comments. So be sure to comment down below to enter, like the video, and subscribe. So today I want to talk about kind of like what dropshipping is right now and the misconceptions around dropshipping. And this is going to be more of a blog for myself and kind of me sharing my opinions and thoughts on what's wrong with the community and what you could do to go in the right direction for dropshipping. And yeah, it's just going to be a quick little vlog for me, and if you could spare about 20 or so minutes to read over or go over everything I just say, that would help a lot for you in the long term. So I just need about 20 or so of your minutes, or maybe even less. I don't know how long this video is going to be, but I just wanted to share my thoughts. Dropshipping has been around for a while, and Shopify dropshipping has been around for about 2 or 3 years, and it started really becoming really popular and trending in the past year or so. And there's been a lot of changes recently, and ongoing and still changing, so it's very important for you to adapt, and which is what we're going to talk about later on. But for dropshipping, a lot of people think that the main business model is to try and find a winning product, advertise it on social media platforms. Usually it's going to be Facebook, and then once it works and once certain ad sets work, you're just going to scale it, spend more ads, spend more money on ads, and really get as much revenue as possible. And while that is profitable and a good way to go about making money online, it's not what you should really expect when it comes to building something long term. And let me explain that in just a bit. Dropshipping, finding trending products, of course, is going to can be long term. The only caveat is you have to keep finding winning products, but at some point you're going to have to kind of diversify your traffic first of all, and really start looking into something that is more long term by building something like a brand. And that brings me to the point of dropshipping, as in the idea of dropshipping is like I said, finding winning products and things like that and scaling it to the moon. And I think that's the really wrong way of approaching dropshipping, because you're just capitalizing on trends, and at some point when the trends kind of die down, it's hard for you to make build a long-term business around, because people are just buying one-off. And it came to a point where dropshipping in general is there's a negative stigma around it, because usually it's associated with people like saying it's a scam, or people products are made in China, or like long shipping times, stuff like that. But those are people who are kind of really dissatisfied with their customer service, and that's because people are mainly focusing on scaling the product. But what you should really focus on primarily for building something long term is to really build a brand. And I really kind of emphasize this in a lot of my videos, which is why I tell you guys to comment BRANDFAM, which is brand family, because I really try to emphasize on the importance of branding and how it can separate itself from the masses out there. And essentially building a brand means having a loyal following of people who are into your your brand, your lifestyle, your pictures, and your story, for example. And that is what's going to help you differentiate yourself from people who are selling the same items as you and really demand a higher price. And I do mention that in the other videos that I made about demanding a higher price and higher profit margin. Building a brand also implies that, most importantly, you will have repeat customers. As you know, customer retention rate is actually going to be the bulk of your revenue, if you haven't noticed. If you look at those big brands like Nike, Adidas, like H&M, all these fashion brands like Zara, and even people out of the niche like like Gymshark, for example. a new, and movement, all these big e-commerce brands that are starting to grow, they all have good brands. And one thing they have in common is that, they have a really strong backend system, which includes email marketing. And that usually means that they're sending out emails to people who've bought in the past and, sending them discount codes or like new deals or new items. And if a customer hasn't had any experience hasn't had any good experience with your brand or your store, then likely they won't come back and buy. And so if you really want to build a long-term brand, it's important to keep in mind customer satisfaction and customer experience, which a lot of dropshipping brands nowadays, the big general stores, don't really care as much about. And so that's why they only focus on, one-off customers. And while it might be profitable in like the first few months or like a year or two, it's going to be hard to really scale as a store or as a business, because you're capitalizing on the same kind of cold traffic, and at some point you're going to be exhausting most of the people. And I don't know, it's just like it's going to be hard to really scale to bigger numbers, because especially when Facebook is getting increasingly competitive with the influx of dropshippers nowadays, and not even Facebook ads. People are moving to Google ads and YouTube ads and things like that. I'm not saying it's saturated, but it's going to be increasingly competitive, and it's going to get more competitive in the near future and in the later days. So building that strong backend system and customer loyalty is really going to help you cover the days where you have bad days on the front end. So for example, you're running ads in the front end and maybe you're getting like a 1.5 or less of a return on ad spend, then you can really have that backend system in place to really cover your expenses in the front end, which is very important, and it's really going to help you even out the bad days. And that's why it's so important to really build a brand and build something that is bigger than yourself and not just typical dropshipping. And typical dropshipping with general stores, don't get me wrong, it's still really good and still profitable. But what I would recommend is, once you've made a lot of money or some money on the general store, you would want to reinvest that money into a bigger store. Let's say for like a niche store or something you're passionate about, and really build a brand around it. So for example, anything that revolves around building logos, new packaging, custom photos, some slogan like my story. I don't know. There's a lot of things that contribute to branding. Really consistent photos on your Instagram feed, like lifestyle photos, they'll usually work really well. But all that contributes to branding, and branding basically means that people will kind of get accustomed to the certain style of the brand and really identify with what you're selling or what you're about, or just the overall vibe of your store. And that's when you can really scale, by having that strong backend system, have a loyal amount of people following you for what you do. And it's not going to be as easy, of course, as a normal dropshipping store, because you're doing more essentially to sell. You're doing more than just selling. You're creating a community of people, and you're creating a lifestyle around the products that you have to offer. So that in turn is also going to help you allow for collaborations and things like that, not just one-off purchases. And that's what I really wanted to talk about for dropshipping, is that people are kind of approaching dropshipping wrong, and information is kind of spread. The wrong information is kind of being spread around the dropshipping and e-commerce space, to the point where people think the right way to do dropshipping is to find a trending product and scale that to the moon when it's a winning product, and then move on to the next product and just test a bunch of products. And while that is very useful and really good way to start, and that can make you a lot of money, it might not be the best long term. And I know a lot of people watching this are beginners, but I want you to understand that further down the line, if you really want to keep doing dropshipping and make it a consistent and passive income, then you really have to focus on brand and creating something more than just general stores selling random products. And I'm not saying that general stores don't work anymore. As I said, you can even brand a general store if you want, but you just have to really improve the logistics or something that will make people want to come back and buy, because that's the most important part. And the second thing I want to really talk about that's around dropshipping is that there's a lot of scams going on. And I realized that there's a lot of people who've been talking about it, including some YouTubers. And basically it's because they're just flexing a bunch of numbers, and they're kind of either selling a course or selling consultancy, or like want to get into mentorship programs or things like that. And it's understandable, because the education industry around dropshipping and stuff is very lucrative, but it's kind of doing it in a sense that is very manipulative, because you're flexing these numbers. They don't even know if they're like updated or like from 2 years ago. Some of them just use the same regurgitated content, the same numbers, and they just post in the either every screenshot or like their thumbnails, or like in different community groups on Facebook and stuff like that. And that's really going to attract beginners, especially, to join their mentorship program and earn more money. And of course, while that's lucrative, as I said, it's not really the ethical way to do things. So I just wanted to make sure that you don't fall into that same trap, and really follow one person that you really trust. Whether it be myself, I would appreciate that if you do. Or follow someone you look up to, like a mentor of some sort, and try to limit yourself to 1 or 2 kind of YouTubers or like mentors, and try not to kind of make sure you're following a lot of people at once, because there will be information overload, and a lot of people have different strategies and ways of running stores. Some people like Instagram influencers, some people like Facebook ads, and some people like Google ads or YouTube ads, and just within that, there's a lot of different strategies that you can use, especially Facebook ads, to scale and test products. So it's going to be very conflicting information when you're following several people at once. So anyway, that kind of I digress about the point of scams. But the point is that you shouldn't fall into people who are just flexing their numbers, and really look into kind of what they do and their content. If you like their personality, you like what they do, then follow their content, and don't follow people blindly just because they have big numbers, because chances are some of them are scams. I'm not saying all of them are, but just be careful and be kind of vigilant about who you follow, and do your due diligence before following them, or want to get more information on them. And yeah, this is just a quick little video for you guys to talk about the future of dropshipping, and why I think the current idea of dropshipping is kind of flawed. And hopefully you can take that idea and apply that in your further stores in the future, your future stores. And just to give you some light on dropshipping, finding the right mentors and finding the right channels to follow, and make sure you don't follow different people at once, because there will be conflicting information. I'm just gonna end it there because my battery is running out, but hopefully you got some value. And thanks for staying to the end of the video, and make sure to comment down below BRANDFAM and join the community. We are reaching 1,000 subscribers soon, so I'd appreciate it if you smash the like button so we can reach more people. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video, guys, and take care.